Marion Parks. Where are you guys? I got you to just right. Right behind that skeeter, straight in front of you.
210. 5 o'clock.
There you go, baby. Hold on out there. Pull that kill switch.
Thank you.
210. Thank you. Go. Go. It's on.
Well, we just got off the water after day 2 of the tournament. A little frustrated. I had a good day and a bad day at the same time. Started out, you know, decent. I ran some stuff I thought might work first thing in the morning and it really didn't. So I went back to my original starting hole where I was catching some fish on a swim jig, and I lost the 3-pounder on a swim jig yesterday, and I threw in the same exact spot and I caught that fish. I'm not positive that it was the same fish, but I'm pretty sure because it was the same exact place. And I kept fishing around in that area, and I had 2 more big ones wake my swim jig, and I had one of them hooked for a sec. I got a piece of it and it pulled my skirt and my trailer down. I don't know, that was a little frustrating, but like, it is what it is. There's really not much you can do about that. Kept fishing around, went into my little pocket that I found that I could catch some fish in there, and I was swimming a jig and flipping, and I decided to flip this mat that I hadn't fished before. Set the hook, lost one, about 2 pounds, flipped in there again, caught one about, I ended up weighing it in and caught it, it was like 14.5 inches long. And I kept fishing around, and I threw my swim jig up in a little pocket that like fingered off of the creek I was fishing, swam it over some lily pads, and a 2.5 pounder came up and smoked it and set the hook. It came off. So I lost a bunch of fish, and I don't really know why. Like, I set the hook hard on all of them, and like, I mean, I don't know. It was frustrating to lose that many fish when I know how hard it is to get a bite here. But it is what it is. I had 2 fish at this point, and I decided to go flip some mats that I found. I pull up on one tree, and I had 3 bites in this one tree. I think I lost the first one. It was like a 2-pounder. It came up and just came off. So I was like starting to get pretty frustrated at this point, losing all these freaking fish. And I flipped in there again. I caught a non-keeper. Then I flipped in there again and caught a 2.5 pounder. It's like, let's go. I got number 3 in the box finally. And I flipped and flipped and flipped and flipped and flipped. And I didn't really get many more bites. I came back to the same tree and I caught another 2.5 out of the same exact mat. And so that was number 4. Threw it in the box, and I decided to, I flipped some more mats.
Parkway Road for 3/4 of a mile.
Flipped some more mats after that. Didn't get any bites. Decided to go try my swim jig hole again at like noon, and I ran all the way in there, started fishing, and something just told me to check my live well. And when I did, 3 of them were upside down, the 3 biggest ones. And by upside down, I mean they weren't even like still alive partially, like they were dead as a hammer. And that really took the wind out of the sails for a while. I hate killing fish. I never kill fish. Like, I feel like I'm always like precautious and take care of them, and I just didn't check on them enough today. And they were eating crawfish, and they'd spit up a bunch of crawfish in my live well. The shell of the crawfish had gotten stuck to the screen on my aerator, and it was blocking it from like circulating enough air and water for those fish to breathe, I guess. But there's really not anything I could do about it at that point except just try and keep fishing and keep my head in it. And I started flipping more mats. I was pretty pissed off, not gonna lie, for about 30 minutes, and I told myself I have to catch a limit, you know, especially with the 4 ounce per dead fish penalty. That's 12 ounces that I'm already gonna have less of what I had. And I knew that I had 4 decent fish that were bigger than average than what I caught yesterday. So if I could just get one more, I'd have a decent day and have a decent shot at getting a check. I found this one mat, and I told my co-angler, I told him, I promise you, I will catch a fish out of this mat. I'm going to catch one out of this freaking mat. I promise you. It's gonna happen.
Okay.
And I flipped and flipped and flipped and flipped, and I finally caught one out of it. It was about 2.5 pounds. So it felt good to get that limit. Got a little bit of weight off my shoulders. And after that, I mean, I really just never had any other opportunities. Like I put 5 keeper fish in the boat today. I think I had 3 or 4 come off. And like, that's flipping, you know, you can't expect if you're flipping mats to get every single fish in the boat. But I don't know why that fish came off on that swim jig. That was a little kind of annoying, but in the end, it really would have only culled probably less than half a pound, so it really wouldn't have helped much. Got to weigh in, I weighed in 12.2, but because of my penalties, I had 11 something, and I ended up in 47th place. But with my non-penalized weight, I would have ended up in 40th place. So those 3 dead fish cost me $3,500 in the check, which is a little hard to swallow, but we got good points. I'm happy with it. I'm not happy with it, but I am happy with it because of how bad my practice was at this event. I didn't really know what was going to happen, if I'd even be able to catch anything, to be honest, and I was really concerned that this one might be a bomb, and it wasn't. You know, I didn't do as well as I was hoping, but I stayed alive. I'll still be probably in the top 10 in the points, and we're just gonna have to hammer down the rest of the season. I got to get some better finishes, some top 10, top 20, top 30s. Like, we got to start cutting checks if we want to make the elites, and I'm ready to get after them. And the next one, we got a big break until July for Lake Oneida for the next open, so a big gap in opens. But I signed up for a Toyota series on the Harris chain that I'm excited about in a couple weeks, and I got some college stuff to get me by in between then, so we're gonna stay after them and just keep on trucking. That's all we can do.